Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Netflix Irish movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Netflix Irish movies.
I'm Jax, and I love anything with Lindsay Lohan in it.
I'm Alonso, and they're always after me like a charm. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark
Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow, hello,
man,
everybody.
the gang is back together.
This is exciting. This is exciting.
Anytime it's not Christmas time and we get to have Jax and Alonso on the same episode, it's really like a little taste of Christmas in the middle of spring, you know?
Taste of heaven.
just like having Lindsay Lohan in a Netflix.
I mean,
It's
come
true.
on.
It's
the
true.
the Lohanaissance continues.
It sure does.
It will,
I think it's at its all-time high right now.
it
Wow.
we'll talk about it, but it will not be denied.
Jax,
it's not peaking just yet.
It is good that you're here, Jax, because When Calls the Heart is getting ready to start back up. You will be joining us once again for season
12?
11?
11? 12.
10?
11.
11. It's season 10, 11, 12. We love it.
I'm thrilled you're going to be joining us. I'm not thrilled we have to do the show. That's the part that's tough.
But she's getting a haircut, you guys. She's getting a trendy haircut because she's a modern woman.
I thought that's because they were done filming. She got the haircut because.
Oh, that's in the show.
It's in the ads, yeah.
Oh boy! All right, cool.
What does that mean? Like, what's the haircut? Don't tell me. I don't want any spoilers.
I know I speak for many when I say I look forward to not watching this season, but I do look forward to watching y'all talk about
God
this.
bless you. Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, my problem is, and this is turning into a When Calls the Heart preview episode, and I hate it, but my problem is that last season had a lot of juice because it became evident that Elizabeth was switching sides on this deal. This season, zero juice. Unless you are Team Nathan.
Yes. The suspenders, they're unbuttoned.
But aside from that, there isn't any sort of like, oh my gosh, will they, won't they?
But this is the year of all rise for them.
Dude, what if it's Gowan? What if it's Gowan that throws his hat in the ring?
Do we know, is Gowan in this season? Because remember last year he ended the season by showing up to what's her name's house?
Lori Loughlin's house.
Lori's house.
Abigail.
We know she's not there because she's still over at Great American Family.
Okay,
but
yeah.
even though Daniel Lissing's back on Hallmark
That's
with Aaron
exactly
Grayko.
That's right.
Yep.
He showed up. The rowboat was right outside the house. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. For
Guys,
everybody.
I will.
Maybe-
Oh no!
Maybe Elizabeth hooks up with the dude that Jax has the thirst for.
Her real life boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, she actually hard launched on Instagram as her boyfriend finally after more than a decade of dating.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so Jack's off the market, unfortunately.
It's okay. Whatever. Maybe like a tender kiss in a Hallmark movie. That would be enough for me.
Is that what
with
you're
Ben
asking
Rosenbaum.
for? Like, okay.
Humbly.
And I don't want to be that guy.
Putting that to the universe.
But like, Jax, you're also off the market, right?
That's right. That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
If we could cut that line,
That's
the tagline right there. Bran is asking Jax.
I just want
off the market.
Just
No, but like
What's
how
your
every
current
couple
relationship status, Jax?
every couple has their hall pass.
Hall pass.
And mine is like, Amelia Clark, Parvati from Survivor, Mae Martin, they're dating, and Ben Rosenbaum.
Time out. Who's the Survivor? I don't know anything about Survivor. Who?
She was on my vision board. Parvati.
All right.
She was
That
the
narrows
leader of
it
the
down
Black
a
Widow
lot for me.
Brigade. There was Donald Glover and Andrew. I couldn't remember his last name.
Andrew Garfield. Yes.
You couldn't remember Andrew Garfield.
How was your
Jax has a whole leaf.
Yeah. A whole passport. Like a whole just a whole
page
that's
after
right.
page.
There's so
of
many
blank,
stamps on
waiting
there.
for stamps.
Derulo is even jealous. It's crazy. Got him.
Nice.
We're on fire.
That was good.
Drop my phone.
How's
Sorry.
the vision board coming to be? Has anything come to vision?
I will say
Lots of hats.
Parvati was on my board, and I'm taking a class with her called Unlocking Your Inner Villain. So, I mean, Yeah.
Are you going to
I'd
tell her
say
that she's one of your
total?
16 to 18 hall pass?
Wow, how about that?
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Uh-huh.
Just like we have to talk about Irish Wish. We saw another Lohan movie. I think we're required. We signed the same contract she
That's
did.
right.
And
Blood oath.
we have
we
to
cover every Lohan movie.
Yeah.
All of us have to come to
Yeah,
the
there's
table.
something that we can do. We just sign that deal.
Just waiting
Irish
for her to get back in the theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Wes Anderson, what are you waiting for? I'm sorry.
Hey, she had a cameo in the Mean Girls movie.
She
I
did,
didn't
which
see
I
that.
just watched, by
I
the
didn't see
way, and
that.
thoroughly enjoyed. Irish Wish, March 15th is when it dropped on the Netflix. And it went a little something like this.
No.
I won't.
Jamaican.
Jamaican be crazy. Maddie shows up at this big book release for her client, Paul Kennedy. She is his editor, and it's pretty clear that she basically writes the books and also is in love with him. He tells her, hey, I got something that I need to talk to you about later this evening, and she thinks that this is finally the time that he is going to profess his love to her. He does not. Instead, he asks if, hey, do you want to help me write another book? This time, from the very beginning, this is not at all what she expected. And to make matters worse, she watches him bump into one of her best friends. They really hit it off. He signs her book with his phone number, and Maddie is like, I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. Flash forward a few months, and they all touch down in Ireland for Emma and Paul's wedding. That's right, they're getting married. She thinks that she spots her bag and goes to grab it, while this other guy also grabs the same bag. They fight over it. It pops open. His boxers come out. It is not her bag. To make matters worse, she has to sit next to this guy on the bus. His name is James. He makes it very clear that he does not like Paul Kennedy's books. Can you believe that?
Certainly can't. Who wouldn't like Paul Kennedy's book?
I know. She makes it to Paul's estate, and he and all of their friends, they go to this river thing to that's featured in his books, and they're all going to get in boats and whatnot. Maddie stays behind, FaceTimes her mom, and is talking about how it's weird being here because, you know, she liked him, and but it's not like she can wish that she was with Paul. Suddenly, the call goes black, and this woman appears behind her and is like, did somebody say wish? And is like, what's your wish? And she's like, well, I wish I was marrying Paul Kennedy. Suddenly, the wind begins to blow. She falls back and lands in her bed. And when she gets out of her bed, she discovers that Paul is showering in her bathroom and is like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? It doesn't seem to bother him at all that she's looking at him naked. Turns out her and Paul are indeed getting married. She's very shocked by this, but is also very excited. This is her dream. This is her wish. She heads into town.
Her Irish
wish.
It is. Nope. Okay.
She heads into town and
they get married, and that, my friends, was.
That's right. That's it. That's the end of the movie. No conflict. She heads into town for some dress stuff, and she ends up falling into the car of this James guy from earlier. Remember James?
Yeah, I do. He doesn't like Paul Kennedy's books.
Doesn't like Paul Kennedy's books. This is
Believe
exactly
that
right.
SOB?
The one.
I know. Everyone comes to her rescue, and they find out that this guy is a photographer. They don't have one, or fell through, or whatever, so he gets hired to shoot the wedding, which also involves him just being around. You know, taking pictures throughout, not just of the wedding, but of the leading up to.
That's
the
right. Yeah,
You have to.
all the stuff, memories, man.
So obviously this leads to her, for some reason, spending a ton of times with James, including going to a romantic lookout, which Paul Kennedy said was a tourist trap, and going drinking and dancing after they get stuck in the rain. It is a very serious night. Darts are thrown. The sparks are flying. And now you might be wondering, well, what about Paul Kennedy? What about poor Paul? Well, Paul's also having some sparks fly with the woman that he was supposed to be marrying in the first place, Emma. And it's awkward, it's weird, but what can you do? She finally makes it back to the estate, and it's just tough, you know? Because she's now feeling these things. And she's also it's just not going great with Paul, and James is there kind of witnessing all of this not go super well. And so he kind of shoots a shot one day out by the old bird pond is what I like to call it.
By the old bird pond, yeah.
And it's basically like, you should be with somebody better, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. And he leaves. He's out of here. He's gonzo. But it's time. It's time, everybody. We've got a wedding to see, and a wedding to do, and a wedding to have. And it doesn't happen.
We got a wedding to see, a wedding to do, and a wedding to have?
Something blue. Something borrowed.
Freedom from fear, freedom from want.
Right. That's right.
Jordan Almond.
That's right.
She finally realizes.
One for me.
Yes.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
That's right. She finally realizes can't do this. She decides that she's going to run. She runs and she runs and she runs. And she makes her way back up to where she made the initial wish. And she's like, I'm ready now. It's wishing time. And luckily for her, it is indeed wishing time. And it all works out really, really well for her, because obviously we're back. Paul and Emma, everything's going to be great there. And then she goes and she finds James, and they have a conversation on a bench, and she knows a lot, obviously, about him and uses that to her advantage. They go up to the spot in which they went to the first time to look out, and she's just like, you like this, and you're awesome at this. And he's like, this is amazing. And they kiss.
Yeah.
And they kiss, and they get married at the end. And she tells Paul to kick rocks, and that, my friends, was Irish Wish.
Some weddings to do. Some
weddings to see, weddings to have, weddings to hold. Let's take a quick break.
And the beat goes on.
We'll come back, and we will break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. No one? There's 4 of us? No one else joined me? Too bad. Not talking to any of you.
We have an understanding.
Any of you.
There's that weird delay.
Deck
We're
the
not going to deck the Hallmark.
I'm sorry. I'm on delay.
You're still on delay. You're still in London. You're still on London.
Right.
You're still in London.
Still in London.
Well, you're back today.
Meantime.
You're back today, but you're on London time.
I'm on London time still. Yes. Today's the day
I'll
back.
give you the pass.
You sure it was
it's
today?
Thursday. Yes.
Thursday.
Today.
Oh yeah, I just got back.
Yeah.
Man, I'm really tired.
Let's break this movie down.
What is it?
What's weird is you weren't tired.
10 a.m. in London right now?
You weren't tired any of the other days you came back.
No, but this one.
Today is finally caught up with you.
I'm going. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just hits you that
It's
way.
time for the hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. I'll start with Alonso. Alonso, a low Renaissance enthusiast. What did you think of Irish Wish?
Yeah, so this is, very often I think with the Netflix movies, we're talking about Hallmark movies with a better budget and a bigger star, and this falls in that category. This is any number of like Hallmark travel movies that also involve wishes and an alternate timeline kind of thing. And it works on that level. I mean, like it's crafted by people who've done these a bunch, Michael Damian and his wife, are the producer director team, and they're responsible for a lot of these. To me, he will always be Captain Cool of Captain Cool and the Kongs, because I'm a child of the 70s, but that's another story. And Lohan's really charming and knows how to sell this kind of material. And the backdrops are picturesque, the cliffs and everything. It really makes you want to go to Ireland and sit on a bench under a tree that's full of CGI flowers. So yeah, it's charming. It's cute. It's nice.
Jax, what do you think of Irish Wish?
This had me feeling emotional because I'm just so proud of Lindsay Lohan. Like in Falling for Christmas, which I thought was also a delight, and I think all of us celebrated the Lohan-a-sance. But something in that movie, to me, I could still tell she was getting her sea legs. And I say this as a woman who has proudly gotten injectables into my own forehead. Nothing wrong with a little bit of Botox. But her face wasn't moving very much in that movie. And while her forehead isn't moving much in this movie, her smile, like she's just so tapped in and wonderful. She's doing this madcap comedy, which I think Alonso talked about in Falling for Christmas, with just to utter perfection. When she's wearing that wedding dress and she runs out and she does the catapult into the car, she looks incredible. I love her wardrobe. Just everything about this was such a delight. I visited Ireland for the first time with my family last summer. So I've got my little Irish charm bracelet on, my little 4-leaf clover. I'm an Irish gal. I love Lindsay Lohan. More of this, please. I adore her.
Hey, Jax.
You know what's great about having Jax on the show, aside from having Jax on the show, and
Yeah,
it's wonderful,
obviously.
is that finally somebody can talk about injections in the forehead, and it's not us.
And it's not us.
It's nice. It feels like it's off limits for us.
So many times.
It does.
Would never.
We're not allowed.
No. But also, Jax, I don't want to spoil my hot take, but if one of the two of us was watching this and said, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of Lindsay, which of the two of us do you think it was? It was me, believe it or not. It's true story.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I
He's
cannot wait to
proud.
hear what
He's
you're
proud of
saying.
We'll get there in a
He's
second.
proud of her.
I hope it's
Go
legitimate.
ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I thought that this movie was fine. I think that the things that I really like about this movie are like small things, like when she fell back and the flowers were around her, and as she falls onto the pillow, the flowers kind of become a part of the pillow.
Yep.
Like little things like that are just like, that's really cool, and something that I don't think up until this point we've seen on Hallmark. Maybe we'll get there, but I think that takes a little bit more love and a little bit more care. But I did like this movie, and I thought Lindsay was wonderful. And it wasn't a movie where you were ever surprised about how it was going to turn out. But that doesn't make the process any less enjoyable. It was lovely. It was a lot of fun, and I thought everybody did a great job. Dana.
Yeah, so two different things here. The movie itself, we'll get to in a second. It's a lot more underwhelming, I think, than you guys are saying it is. Maybe Alonso hit it about where I would be. Lindsay Lohan this is the first time I've seen her and thought this is the spark and the sparkle and the dynamo that was this child actor that just like took over the screen and just like was so endearing and was like America's sweetheart. And it's like
Herbie's back to being fully loaded is what you're saying.
And I didn't think of it. I really didn't. But now that you say the injectables in the face, that makes a lot of sense. But in the last one we did with her, it was like, I'm happy she's back. I hope she does more. She doesn't seem quite herself just yet, but it's cool she's getting back out there. In this movie, it is like she never left. She is just, I literally in the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh my goodness, this is her. Like, I'm really, really proud of her in general. I just was so excited, and I'm pulling for the movie because of her. Ireland looks beautiful. The movie itself, like, didn't really live up, in my opinion. I think these movies, when they're done well, The Wish, you get to go back and relive scenes that you've already done once. We don't get to do that in this movie. So, like, I thought when she wished this, she was going to go back to that original pub or wherever they were, and he was going to ask her to marry him. Instead, in this movie, you get this weird thing where she doesn't know how she's engaged. She just gets to live it. And then also, if movies don't let you go back and redo scenes when you wish for something, the other thing they do is they let you know early on you don't want to be in this wish and you're trying to get out of it. And there's not really any of that in this movie. And so we just kind of meander around, in my opinion. It's yeah, you could disagree. That's fine. I just don't think there's ever like, if all she had to do was go back to the wishing stone, the whole movie long, she occasionally sees this woman. But like all movie long, if that's all it took, like every other one of these movies where you wish for something, they go back to the source where it happened. It's like the first thing they do. And she just doesn't do it in this movie until the very end. And so the movie,
she didn't want to.
The movie,
well,
that's my whole point. That's exactly my point. Is I think she never really fully gets to love the new version, or really gets to think. I don't know. For me, it didn't uphold the promise of what this movie could be. Lindsay's great. Ireland looks great, and they utilized it, but the movie itself kind of meh for me.
Alonso, would you like to rebuttal?
Well, I think that in a Wish movie, that sometimes there's a middle ground where you can make it and feel like, yes, this is what I want. And then it's a slow process of realizing, oh, no, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't. And the recurrence of St. Bridget is to sort of throw these things in her path, like to keep the mom from getting there and whatever else, to sort of illustrate you belong with the photographer, not with the hack author. And so I thought to me it worked that she would, yes, yay, I got what I want, and then it takes a while for her to figure out this is not what I want, and so I thought that it split the difference there between the two things that you're saying that these movies are supposed to do.
Well, there's a difference of opinion. I think if you're going to do that, you need to let her experience all of it. She didn't even know how she got engaged. So like, if you give her some ammo, if you give her some memories or some experiences of why she loves this hack author, then I'm on board, because I feel
this came up with the mistletoe cocktail, where like they got there but they didn't know how they got there, and that was
and that creates some weird scenes that they try to, like a drinking game that's just wild in this movie. That doesn't make any sense at all. But neither here nor there.
It's time for all the feels, where we talk about what in this movie gave us feels. Alonso, any feels for you?
Well, I have embarrassed feels because Dave White has taken me to correction corner. I have confused Michael Damian, who is the producer of this film and a former soap star and had a pop hit back in the day, with Michael Lembeck, who was Captain Cool, but who also directs these movies.
We
so
didn't want to say anything, Alonso.
I didn't want to embarrass you. I didn't want to embarrass you.
Brandon knew
I
it.
appreciate
Erin
that.
was over there shaking her head in pure dismay.
Unlike Dan, I don't take any pleasure in correcting people, so I usually just let them live it. So this was nice.
Brand let you slide on that one.
Very, very kind of y'all, but I'm more committed to the historical records here. So
next time I will call you out.
Yeah.
Please,
I think you can sneak a Captain Cool reference by this guy. Not on your best day, okay?
Heck no. My main feel is Lohan. I mean, like what you guys have said it. Like she is all the things that you want her to be in this movie. She's radiant. She's funny. I mean, obviously there's some stunt doubling involved, but nonetheless she commits to the physical comedy. And yeah, she's just super charming and carries this whole thing off. Really, also love the plaid tuxedo. I could probably never pull that look off.
Oh,
it's like most men's fashions, it is designed to be worn by a pencil, but it looks really great on Hack Author. So I was like, oh, that is a very cool look.
I think you could pull it off, Alonso.
The plaid suit was a move. I thought it was great.
I liked it, yeah. Jackson, any feels for you?
So many. Yes, to echo Alonso, like during this movie, I was on Amazon trying to find like big hair bows that I can wear. I was like, do I get extensions and dye my hair red? Like I had all the Lohan feels. Also, Dan, to your point about the drinking game, I actually got feels during that scene. And here's why. I enjoyed the fact that Lindsay's like, wait, so how did we get engaged? I proposed to you? Like, I was laughing hysterically. I thought it was really funny. And also, and sorry, Swifties, I'm probably going to use this reference incorrectly, the invisible string thing, but I thought that her and the photographer, when he's standing there, knowing that her favorite author is James Joyce, and her hack author, thank you for that, Alonso, because that's what I will refer to him as from henceforth, is like, oh, Charles Dickens and bragging about it. I just thought that it was so ultra romantic for her and the photographer, and this sort of unrequited love that is actually going to be requited by the end of this movie, because that's how it goes. And also the moment when she's like, I can't, I'm getting married in 2 days. I was like, oh, yes, feels.
Yes,
Dan, you can go erase the Swiftie thing. You don't have to do that anymore.
Okay, I did.
She did
I
that,
caught that. Clocked it. It's like you with the weddings. Made it, did it, happened. Yes,
That's exactly
it.
right. I would like to take this opportunity to talk to Aisha Curry, who is in this movie.
We've gone this far, Brad.
Well, no. I did a little deep dive, and I found out that she and Lindsay Lohan have recently become best friends, which I always think is sweet when you meet someone that you really connect to. Like we're in our 30s. At this point, I feel like I have all the friends I need.
That's right. Yeah.
But when someone special comes around and you meet somebody new, and you're kind of like, where's this person been my whole life? I feel like we've known each other. And that's, from my understanding, how Lindsay and Aisha feel. But I would like to talk to Aisha Curry right now because I don't think I'll ever have the opportunity. This is her first movie. Maybe she's listening to reviews or watching on Philo TV. If you and your husband, I believe it's Steph, would ever like to do a double date with me and my wife, we would be thrilled. I'd be thrilled to go out with the two of you. I don't really know much about Steph. I'm definitely not going to ask him a ton of questions about basketball or anything like that. But
asking to be on your
I'm not
podcast
going to do that.
about
I'm not going to do
basketball.
that. I just would love to get to know you guys. I think you
This
seem like
is
great
wild.
people. BrandonDeckTheHallmark.com if you guys would ever like to get together let me know. I think it'd be a good time. Listen, you got to shoot your shot sometimes.
Yeah, I'm going to ruin that shot for you right now. Aisha, if you go on that date,
no.
ask Brandon
Oh,
what
come
he
on.
thought of your performance.
No, we don't do that here.
In Irish Wish.
No,
ask
no,
him.
She was great. I thought Aisha was
Ask
great.
him. Ask Bram what he thought of your performance if you're going to go on that double date.
Ask McNasty.
Yeah, ask McNasty. He goes by McNasty. So reach out, Brandon@deckthehallmark.com.
I'm thrilled for her. I'm thrilled for her.
I'm thrilled for her too.
Why'd you have to do
When
that,
you say-
man?
when you say
are you
thrilled,
kidding me?
guys,
You just asked for them to go on a double date with you and your wife?
I'm gonna try to
Get
I'm
out of
gonna
there.
try to become
No.
friends with Steph Curry. You're gonna get mad at me by proxy. You'd be friends. You're mad at that? You're mad at that?
It's the lowest of the low move to reach
I'm
out
not
via
above
podcast.
any of that.
You aren't. And so I wanted to make sure we were clear at how often you were talking about Aisha Curry during this movie.
It's as bad as going on one of these shows and trying to get cast in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
You
we
just
would
wouldn't
never.
do it.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Like Jacklyn
in my
Collier
defense,
doesn't
in my
need
defense,
us.
and in Brand's defense, I'm saying for both of us here, we're straightforward about it. He could have just tried to go through with the Aisha thing and been like, "We want to have you on the show," and then be like, "Oh, I didn't even. Oh, that's your husband."
Oh, you're really?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're here just shooting our shot unabashedly.
gosh.
I just want to be friends with Steph Curry.
I want to be, there's two different things going on here, Jax. This is really, really kind of you to try to like equivocate what you're doing with what he's doing. Acting is your profession. It's what you do for a living. Brand's just trying to
the
meet
hustle.
a celebrity.
No, I'm trying to become friends.
That's all Brand's doing.
I'm trying to be the
Friendship.
Lindsay Lohan to Aisha to Steph.
You're the Lindsay Lohan in this.
That's what I'm saying.
You're Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
100%. I'm the Lindsay
Yeah.
Lohan here.
This whole conversation makes me so upset. I want to drive away in my bright blue Range Rover.
Yeah.
And it can take you anywhere. It doesn't really matter what kind of road it is. It doesn't matter if it's a road or not. The Range Rover's there for you. You
When
know
me
what I mean?
when me and Steph become best friends, I'm not introducing you.
That's fine. That's fine.
You don't want to meet one of the best shooters of all time? The best shooter of all time? You don't want to meet him.
He is the best
You
shooter
don't have
of all
any
time.
interest?
I would meet him, but I'm not.
I'm not going to let you.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to ban you.
That's fine, buddy. As long
He's
as
gonna-
you're honest with
he's
the
gonna-
Currys
he's gonna-
about your opinion on the acting on
He's
display
gonna-
during this movie.
He's going to come over to my house and you're going to see it and you're going to be like, man, I really wish.
This is ridiculous.
I really,
The
you're gonna
problem
rue
is
the day.
You know what the problem
gonna
is
rue
here.
the day.
You
Do you-
know how you were talking during this movie, and you now to do what you
If
just
Aisha
did.
asked me her
after
my
what you
honest
just
opinion,
did.
if she asked me my honest opinion, I would give it. I'm not going to give it on the pod.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
it's not
this
the
is
night-
the place to do it, not in front of them.
I was going to say this would.
No,
this is
I
the
don't.
place
I
to
try
do
not to
that.
talk about the performances.
Really?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Whatever. Range Rover was my feels.
We'll be right back here at Deck the Hallmark.
That sigh was brought to you by Alonso post-COVID.
It's time to get to the Wait What. It's where we share our waits and our whats that we had during this movie. Alonso, anything stick out to you?
So I'm going to guess that this whole movie is shot in Ireland, including the New York sequence at the beginning. And that perhaps explains the United Nations of accents that we are dealing with at the beginning of this movie, because you've got Lindsay, who's clearly American. You've got Hack Author, who's clearly Irish. And then you've got Lindsay's pals who are like
British adjacent and Aisha Curry.
Yes, something like that is going on. I had no problem with Aisha Curry's performance, by the way. It's so small that it's like she didn't even have a chance to do it badly. She's just sort of there, and she's fine with being there. That's all I got. And then the fact that Jane Seymour pops in with an American accent, an Iowa accent to be specific. I'm like, okay, all bets are off here. So sure. So that was just immediately nutty. And then not really a lot after that, because when you get into the it's all a wish scenario, like everything flies out of the window. So they're pretty consistent, I thought, with the events are being manipulated by St. Bridget, and that's why, Jane can't get on a plane, and, Lindsay's passing out during the rehearsal and So I kind of felt like they followed their rules, except for the ultimate notion that if it weren't for the wish, she really never would have gotten to know the photographer. They would have had that one meeting on the bus and then never seen each other.
That's true.
Yep.
So ultimately, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing, yes.
Which is a good thing.
It
Heard
is
it
a
here
good thing.
first.
Jackson, anyway, what's for you?
I just have two. And this one, I would love to know your opinion. I think it might have been intentional because of the budget. But when we see the photo of Lindsay Lohan with Hack Author, it looked like it was a Kate Middleton Photoshop. Like it was so
Oh, boy.
jarring. And I just didn't know. Okay, do you think that was intentional?
I
for,
don't
like,
know if it was
comedic
intentional,
sake?
but they had the other photo that looked real.
Yes.
And then this one looks so bad.
Okay, so maybe it was.
Like they could have just cut her head out
Yeah.
and pasted it on.
It was almost superimposed. It was wild. It was a wild.
And maybe
scene.
it was that way to be funny, like because of the high quality caliber of this movie, and as you said, Dan, because the other one like looked like a good photo, I thought it might have been like an LOL for us.
This is really another kind reading there. I think
That is the kind read.
it's a kind
Yeah.
read by Jack.
Look, for me, everything pales next to the Nicolas Cage and Leah Thompson family photo in the remake of Left Behind.
That's all.
Okay, I need to watch it
Photoshop
because
than
of
that.
this.
Yes, you need to watch the Nicolas Cage
Don't
Left
watch
Behind.
The whole
it good?
thing, yeah.
Well,
And I'll send you
terrible.
our take it to the tape for it. You can listen
you can
along.
Wait, no,
listen to
please
it.
do. I'll watch it this weekend.
There you go.
Stop it.
My other thing was as the gal who grew up very Catholic at the time, before other things were discovered about myself and the world around me. But
You can catch Jack's religion podcast. It's coming on the Bramble Jam Network.
plenty to say.
That's right.
But the
Jack said I could do a new show called Lapsties.
we
Oh,
should.
man.
Okay,
I just-
the things we say.
Yeah, can I just guest occasionally, please?
Oh, you'd be great.
Oh, he's so awesome. His dream come true.
Hey, if Bramble Jam is looking to take us on, you know where to find us.
Sold.
There you go.
More of us.
Alonso keeps begging us to be on more podcasts.
That's true. Hat in hand.
And the two things we always try to do is to work, do a religion and a politics. Like that's
We
what
do
we
those.
love. We
Yeah,
love,
yeah,
we
yeah.
love
Oh, yeah.
doing those.
And
a
until that
dream.
Billy the Cool Kid comment, he was on board. I don't know what's the guy's name. Captain
That's
Cool.
a
Captain
different
Cool.
Captain
That's
Cool.
right.
That's
Tipped it
the
up.
one. Yeah.
Let's smoking Captain Cool. The Saint Bridget being like kind of a witch and kind of a sorcerer, but she is this, like it all felt.
She's a trickster goddess.
100%. And look, I loved it. I thought the performance was really delightful. I thought it was a really fun concept. It felt like it could read as a little blasphemous for those people who feel weird about that. I thought it was a gosh darn delight, but it was like, oh, it's supposed to be Saint Brit, the stained glass window, and she's kind of a trickster goddess. Okay, like I'm for it, but wait,
Just because you've been canonized doesn't mean you don't like a good
That's
prank,
right.
you know?
That explanation came out of nowhere, though. Like it was
weird.
We didn't see it coming. I only have a couple. One, and maybe this is a part of this is the wish effect, but she does pull her wedding dress straight out of the suitcase. No protective cover, no nothing. It's just reckless. And listen, I don't know. Maybe that is something that you would do if you don't care at all, but or if you come there via wish. But it's very, very bold move.
Your shampoo's going to explode right on it.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
know it.
And she really crushed that Irish dance in that bar.
Yeah.
She crushed it. Was great. And so didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to be, I don't really dance. And then
Like
she was
she'd
going
be
to like
been dancing her
struggle.
whole life.
It's like she'd been doing.
Don't make me
No,
dance.
don't make me. Oh, I can't dance. Doing the whole thing. She's ready to go. Dano?
At one point in the movie, one character asked another, "Do you believe in fate?" And the response was sometimes, which it's not a response you hear often. Usually you hear like yes or no, like fate, yeah, or no. But sometimes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting answer. It could have been literally anything else, but what was sometimes. The pub that she and James go to
Yes.
is slammed. The parking lot is empty. It is empty.
They all walk. They must
They're
walk.
the only car in the parking lot. Pub is slammed. Everybody knows we're just walking. It's
a
pouring down
walking
rain. We're just walking. We're getting cabs. We're drinking responsibly. Good for them. Was there something that distracted Lindsay Lohan's character on the bike, or has she just never ridden a bike before? That like her like just having that much trouble on a bike. she acted it really well, but I just was very confused.
As someone who didn't learn how to ride a bike until they were 24, I was like, oh yeah, this is normal behavior.
My take was, in this current life, they are big in biking, but she wasn't back then. So like in this life where she's with Paul Kennedy's like, we love bikes. This is how we go biking all the time.
Yeah.
But she, that didn't carry over.
Well, if you're on the side of a mountain, it would make sense to me, but she's on just a straight path, and it is not.
I mean, maybe part of the story is that Paul taught her how to ride a bike.
Yeah, none of us were privy to that.
Didn't carry
Is
over.
it genuinely that easy for you guys to ride a bike?
Yeah. I mean, from the time you learn as a young kid, and there's literally a saying, just like riding a bike, right?
It is a saying.
I see where both of y'all are coming from here, because I did learn to ride a bike as a kid, and then I didn't do it for a long time. And then when I was in my late 20s, I went with somebody to Santa Barbara, and we rented bikes. And I had forgotten a lot of things, and he was sort of like, no, you have to control the bike or the bike will control you. And so I got it where she was like, it's like she was letting the weight of the bike do the steering, which is a bad move. But I've been there, and so I did. It did not strike me as beyond the pale.
Fair enough. Two others. One in a very steamy scene, he teaches Lindsay to play darts in the pub. And he says throwing darts is all about grit, stance, and confidence. At some point, throwing's got to be in there. It's not, you can't just really grit up, and stand. Darts leave your hand and hit a board. You can't sit there and just go, I am more confident than anybody else about these darts.
He does
less spice, more confidence.
What's great is he gives those three things and then proceeds to hold her arm and help her with the throw.
Grit, stance, and confidence. So let me see your hand. What's that have to do with it? Nothing. It doesn't matter. Just trust me on this one. Hands behind my back. Best dart throw in the world. Look at that.
Pure grit.
Nobody's got more grit and confidence than I do. It's ridiculous. And then the first time they meet at their meet cute, they're fighting over a suitcase on a luggage carousel. It is a solid black suitcase. And she's like, this is mine. He's like, no, it's mine. And she's like, no, it's mine. And then he says, look at the tag. And she says, I don't need to. I know it's mine. I am here to tell you, I have traveled enough. I have a silver and gray suitcase. Even if I'm 100% sure it is mine, I'm still looking at the tag. I don't have one of those suitcases that have all the fancy colors that stick out. I got a normal suitcase. I'm going to not take somebody else's luggage. For her to double down and be like, I know 100% this solid black suitcase is mine and not one of the 50 others that came off the carousel is crazy. It's just crazy. That's all I got.
At least grandma it up and weave a ribbon around
it. Yeah. Something to prove it's yours. Because right now he did look at the tag.
Yes.
He looked at the tag.
He knew it.
She's like,
she's a New Yorker.
I refuse to even look at the tag.
That is a bold move for someone to say, look at the tag, and you say no.
Yeah.
No.
That implies he has.
I will not.
Right.
I don't need to.
You don't get it, sir. This is my bag.
This is mine. Don't care what the tag says. It's time for What the Flicks.
Very similar to darts. You just got to be confident, have some grit.
Confidence and grit.
Her stance is good.
Her stance was great.
Great stance.
10 of 10 stance.
Yeah. It's time for What the Flicks. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe you haven't given some clarity. Any questions that we still have. Alonso, any questions that you're still having?
Well, a part of the happy ending for the low-end character is that she is no longer going to be doing uncredited labor for Hack Author and co-writing his books. So my question is, will his books get even crappier than they already are? And will anyone care? Because it seems to me like he has a very undemanding audience. And once you establish yourself as a bestseller, as long as you keep cranking out similar things, you can really ride that wave for, an entire career if you play your cards right. So I'm just wondering if this is the end of his career or a blip that no one's going to.
And where was that book release party for our book, Alonso? Holy smokes.
Well, there was a little bit of a pandemic going on.
Otherwise, I want to redo. I didn't get my red carpet open bar party in New York running press. Come on.
Well, for Alonso's upcoming book, we can do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, you guys aren't involved in that, but we can.
We didn't have to say that. I mean, maybe we gotta thank you and acknowledgement. I don't know yet.
You might.
Okay, there's a chance.
We can
There's
all
a
get
chance.
dressed up, though.
You're in the acknowledgement.
We're in the Yes!
Look, he's so happy.
Yeah.
Bran, well, Dan too, but Bran looked extremely good.
I am.
You are.
I am.
I know. That's what I was saying.
No one's fighting here.
no.
This is a classic Jax brand fight. No, I'm
No,
happy.
Jax,
here.
I
Classic.
am
I'm
happy,
happy. You're
Jax.
happy.
We're happy.
I'm happy.
Brand could say something like factually incorrect, and Jax would be like, "What Brand's trying to? I get it though. What Brand's trying to say is."
Because for the 4 years that I've been on the podcast, for 3 of them, I was pretending that I was intellectually on the level with you
That's
and Alonso and throwing poor Bran under the
That's
bus.
true.
And I
For
just
years,
didn't feel right.
for years, Jax would just
Now
smile
Jax has
and
created,
shake her head.
Jax has created 2 straw men just now. One, that she's not super intelligent, and 2, that she used to be sitting there thumbing her nose at Brand.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't know which one of those is more strawy than the other.
I gotta
Both
be honest.
just slam full of hay. I can tell you that right
Give
now.
me dumb Jax over mean Jax any day of the week. I love dumb Jax.
Unbelievable.
But both of their foreheads look
They
good.
do amazing foreheads.
It's subtle
so
needlework.
It's
I mean, you can
subtle.
hardly even. I wouldn't have even noticed.
I wouldn't have.
Even up close
you
in
so much.
person.
Yes, and we're always talking about.
Yeah, we have a
foreheads,
whole
too.
board of. Do you think they've had work
Yeah.
done? And we discuss
We do
it every
forehead
we
of the
come in
month.
every
We do
day.
forehead of the month. Which is
Yeah.
pretty big deal.
It's my forehead of the month.
That's exactly right. That's right.
Everybody wants one. Everybody needs one.
true.
That's right.
Jax, anything you're still wondering about?
Oh, I just love you guys. What I'm still wondering about is this, what I assume is a friendship trio of Aisha Curry and then Hack Author's bride and Lindsay
Molly.
Lohan. Like, are they going to continue being friends after this? Because I don't get it at all. And I can't imagine that they actually have a strong friendship, the 3 of them, after this
You
point.
know who's about to have a strong friendship? Me and Steph Curry. It's going to be pretty strong. You can Brandon at TechTheHomework.com. Let's talk.
If you've been looking for just a cross country friend, they live
listen.
in California.
Oh my gosh, me and Steph could be pen pals.
Oh yeah, got him.
I would
Aaron
respond.
Shea just had maybe the joke of the year, and nobody got to hear it because she was on mute. She just said without missing a beat, but that means you'd have to respond to his emails.
That's true. But mine is this. She ends by saying, I'm going to write a book on the cliffs
I can't
of
believe
Moher.
you're doing this.
And my question is, what do you guys there's a little bit of a debate here in the office.
No, it's not a
I'm
debate.
going to write a book on the cliffs of Moher. Do you think she's literally going to write the book on the cliffs? You know, this is a cliff that meant a lot to her.
She's sitting
She's
on the
sitting
cliff.
on the cliffs. This is where she's going to write it. Or is it going to be about the cliffs? What do you
Clearly
guys think?
about the cliffs.
We don't know that.
We do know.
We don't
it.
have enough information.
Nobody says their dream is to sit in one location outside in Ireland to write their entire book.
Could. Cliff.
Maybe she's writing the Cliff's Notes.
Oh, yeah.
that's
good.
Boy!
All I'm saying is she had an amazing time with James on these cliffs. This could be her inspiration for the book that she's writing. She wants to write it on those cliffs.
Aaron's like, I'm trying to have your back here. I just don't.
Listen, the Cliffs of Moher are probably my favorite place in all
Great
of Ireland.
place to write a book.
Awful place to write a book. It's so windy.
Yeah,
Well, bring your laptop
The
out there,
cliffs-
type it.
I was getting blown around. Like, I just don't see how you would sit there
No.
and
No, it's-
unless
Little tent, maybe.
Yeah. My what the flicks.
it's great to go visit for
Yeah.
an hour or two, but I don't think you could write an entire book sitting there.
My what the flicks was the Cliffs of Moher. They looked stunning in this
Right,
movie.
they looked great.
Just absolutely. It looked like maybe close to where they filmed the last scene in Force Awakens where you see Luke. Like it had a very similar feel to it, but like felt real, not in a Star Wars universe. Like, it looked stunning. I just couldn't get over it, and I just got back from England, but I feel like I need to go visit
Yes.
visit the Cliffs of Moher.
100%.
There you go.
Back again.
I'm going to write a book on there if it's the thing that kills me.
Okay.
It might. That might be the thing.
I hear it might blow me off, the cliffs.
There are sections where it's just straight cliff. You could get blown right over. So
Yeah, I
be
won't do it.
careful.
I'll do it in a safer
You're
spot.
not afraid of heights or water. You
No,
should be in
it's not.
business.
This is the ideal place for me to be. This is the ideal place. That's exactly right.
And you have a passport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I haven't had it taken yet. We are gonna do. We're gonna be done.
Yes, that's it.
I think we're gonna be done.
Yes.
We're gonna hang it up. We'll be back tomorrow with another fun interview. Very much looking forward to it. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry
Deck the
Christmas.
Hallmark's a Brable Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.